When it comes to dealing with third parties for your situation, so when I say third parties, lawyers, guardian ad litems, independent children lawyers, judges, attorneys, solicitors, whatever it may be, even parenting coordinators or parenting therapists, whatever it is, they are just people. They have not lived in your situation and they are just doing a job. They have limitations. There is this big misconception out there that just because you're paying your lawyer thousands of dollars, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on your situation, that they are actually going to advocate for you, that they are actually going to do a good job for you and your children, that they are actually going to write up parenting plans that serve you and your children, that they are going to make a narc-proof parenting plan for you, as in put things in to prevent your high conflict co-parent, abusive co-parent, difficult co-parent, non-child focused co-parent from doing the things that they continue to do. Now, parenting plans are standard. There are standard parenting plans. For a lot of people in normal situations, that is fine because they are both child focused. They both want what is best for the children and they're able to communicate, compromise, and put the children first. Your co-parent is not child focused. Your co-parent is not able to compromise. Your co-parent is out to continue to do the things that they've been doing, to control you and the narrative, to control your children. So when your lawyer creates a standard parenting plan, who do you think benefits from that parenting plan? Because it isn't your children and it isn't you. It is something on paper that does fuck all. Standard cookie cutter parenting plans are not it when you have the co-parent that you have in the picture. They only work for people who have child-focused co-parents. If you're here watching this, you do not have a child-focused co-parent. That means you need a parenting plan that is narc-proof. When you are talking about your situation, I know it is so tempting to go down the story route, to just regurgitate everything that they say, everything that they do, all the things. We know how awful it is. Third parties do not know how awful it is. Unless they've lived through your situation, lived through it, got out of it, know what you're dealing with, they have no idea aside from what you tell them. Now, if what you're telling them and communicating to them is just stories and regurgitation, that doesn't prompt them to advocate for you. It doesn't communicate the magnitude of what you're actually dealing with. They may just conclude that you are bitter, erratic, still processing, that you are maybe even traumatized. And it doesn't matter if you are or not, but your experience and what you're trying to communicate and convey, you have very few opportunities to do that. So if you mess it up, you can then mess up your case. Third parties are humans. They're not in your head. They're not going to live with the repercussions of what is decided. So if you are dealing with third parties who have deciding power over what happens to you and your children, you better believe you get your ducks in a row. You dot your I's, you cross your T's, and you're able to communicate your situation in a way that is going to serve you instead of a way that is going to go against you. Now, I've seen this where somebody goes in dysregulated. Co-parents poking and prodding, coming across as this amazing person, amazing parent. And you get emotional, or you're dysregulated, or not able to focus, or you've just had enough of the poking and prodding, and you leave the room. And all that does is reinforce what your co-parent is saying about you. Or worse, you express what you've been dealing with and what you're experiencing, and you've documented everything, you've got everything organized, everything sorted, and the third party is looking at you with blank expression. Or you just hear lip service like, yeah, that must be difficult. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Those words do nothing for you and your children. The women who do best in these situations, know how to communicate to third parties in a way where it is clean, it is clear, it is explicit, there is zero story, zero emotion. Now, I've heard from clients that their lawyers literally told them, oh, just document the date and the time of when this happened and what happened. If your lawyer's ever told you that, that might sound like really good advice. And by the way, I'm not even bagging lawyers here. There are some very good lawyers out there. This is not about lawyers versus non-lawyers. But if somebody's telling you that, what are they going to do with that information? You need to ask yourself that question. Are they going to trawl through all the dates and all the times and read all the incidents? Do you believe that they will do that? Because they won't. Because you're going to have a lot. So them saying that is kind of like, it makes you feel like you're doing something. But if no one's going to do anything with it, then it doesn't actually make sense to do that, okay? So ultimately, when you're dealing with third parties, you do not speak to them and regurgitate your story how you would your friends or your family. There is a way to communicate where at least you are heard. Even if they do nothing with it, they understand the magnitude of what you're dealing with, because we're not downplaying or distracting them with your emotion around what your co-parent is saying and doing, or has said and has done. Okay, I really just wanted to drill that in. You can fuck up your case if you do not know how to convey the magnitude of your experience in a way where it's going to be heard in the way that you need it to be heard. Even if nothing is done with it, you better believe in this high stakes situation, when it comes to your children and you're the one left with the repercussions of the outcomes of these third parties' decisions, you better believe you have very little opportunity to fix what is already messed up. So if you get it right the first time, you're setting yourself up to at least be heard. And it gets things very clear for yourself. So no matter who speaks to you or who's asking, you straight away, you know how to extract the information from your mind, minus the emotion, minus the story, because literally nobody cares to hear your stories. As awful as that sounds, and that's not to downplay your experience, but you need to know how to communicate with third parties.